They said the company would be safe, that nothing would change, that the boss's son, Daniel, would carry on his father's legacy with honor and grace. But within 6 months, he destroyed everything. And I had a front row seat to the entire catastrophe. Day by day, mistake by mistake, ego by ego. This is the story of how one man inherited a multi-million-dollar empire and burned it to ashes. Buckle up. Let me take you back. 9 years ago, I walked into Kingswell Industries as a nervous 24-year-old with a resume that barely filled one page. Mr. Kingswell himself interviewed me. Not HR, not a manager, him. He looked me in the eye, asked me what I wanted from life, and actually listened to my answer. I got the job that same day. For 9 years, that place wasn't just a company, it was a family. Mr. Kingswell knew everyone's name. He remembered birthdays. He showed up to our kids' school plays. When someone was struggling financially, he'd quietly increase their bonus. No announcement, no fanfare. When the market crashed in 2019, he cut his own salary before touching ours. The man was a legend. Revenue? Steady. Culture? Incredible. Turnover? Almost zero. We weren't just loyal to Kingswell Industries. We were loyal to him. But here's the thing about empires. They're only as strong as the person holding the throne. March 14th, 7:23 a.m. I was pouring coffee when my phone rang. It was Sarah from accounting, and she was sobbing. "She's gone. Mr. Kingswell, he had a heart attack last night." The mug slipped from my hand. Ceramic shattered across the kitchen floor, but I didn't move. I couldn't. By 9 a.m., the entire office knew. People were crying at their desks. Grown men were breaking down in the break room. We'd lost more than a boss. We'd lost a father figure. The funeral was 3 days later. Over 400 people showed up. Employees, clients, competitors who respected him. And standing in the front row, wearing designer sunglasses indoors, was Daniel, his son, the heir, the future, our future. A nightmare. Daniel was 27 years old. He'd spent the last 5 years finding himself in Bali, launching failed crypto projects and posting motivational quotes on Instagram next to shirtless beach photos. His bio literally said, entrepreneur, visionary, disruptor. He'd never held a real job, never managed a team, never earned a dollar that didn't come from his father's bank account. But he had the last name, and according to Mr. Kingswell's will, he had the company. His first day, he showed up at 11 a.m. in a Tesla that cost more than most of our annual salaries. He walked past the memorial we had set up for his father, flowers, photos, handwritten notes, without even glancing at it. Straight to the executive floor. We all gathered in the conference room for his introductory speech. He strolled in 20 minutes late, AirPods still in his ears. Then he said the words that made my stomach drop. "All right, listen up. My dad built something great, but let's be real. It's outdated. We're going to disrupt this industry. We're going to innovate. And anyone who can't keep up, well, there's the door." Dead silence. Someone coughed. He pointed finger guns at us and walked out. That's when I knew we were screwed. Day 3. Daniel called an executive meeting. Linda, our CFO for 12 years, presented the quarterly financials. Solid growth, healthy margins, 0 red flags. Daniel interrupted her mid-sentence. "Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there. These numbers, they're boring. Where's the exponential growth? Where's the innovation?" Linda blinked. Sir, we've grown 18% year over year for the past. 18% is mediocre. I'm thinking 10x. I'm thinking unicorn status. This isn't a tech startup, Linda said carefully. We manufacture industrial components. Steady growth is exactly the problem. You're thinking small. He fired her that afternoon. 12 years of service. Gone. No severance package, no thank you, just a cold email from HR. Then he fired Marcus, our VP of Operations. Why? Because Marcus looked at him weird during a meeting. I'm not exaggerating. That was the actual reason. Within 2 weeks, Daniel had gutted the leadership team that had built the company alongside his father and replaced them with his friends, bros from his crypto Discord, a life coach he met at a wellness retreat, his personal trainer. None of them had any business experience, but they were loyal. And in Daniel's world, loyalty mattered more than competence.
Month 2. Daniel burst into the office with the announcement. "I've had a vision," he declared, pacing like a TED Talk speaker on cocaine. "We're launching Project Nova, a smart device that revolutionizes how factories operate. AI-powered, cloud-integrated, game-changing." He pulled up a mock-up that looked like he was designed in Microsoft Paint. "We launch in 4 months. 4 months." Our head of engineering, Tom, raised his hand. "Daniel, we've never built anything like this. We'd need at least 18 months of R&D, not to mention—" "That's loser talk, Tom. My dad thought like that. That's why the company plateaued." The room went cold. Someone insulting Mr. Kingswell's legacy to our faces. But we said nothing, because we needed our jobs. Tom tried again. "The budget alone would be unlimited. We're going all in." "But sir, our reserves are for cowards. We're betting on ourselves. Now make it happen." And just like that, Project Nova became our entire existence. Departments were reorganized overnight. Budgets were slashed from profitable divisions and dumped into this fever dream. Deadlines were impossible. Specifications changed daily based on whatever podcast Daniel listened to that morning. We were building a plane while it was nosediving. And Daniel? He was on Instagram posting about betting on yourself and crushing comfort zones. Meanwhile, we were working 80-hour weeks, missing our kids' birthdays, watching our health deteriorate, for a product that couldn't possibly work. Month 4. The big investor meeting. 3 venture capital firms. Potential funding? $50 million. The only problem? Project Nova didn't exist. We had a partially functional prototype that crashed every 11 minutes and a PowerPoint full of promises we couldn't keep. The night before the meeting, the entire engineering team begged Daniel to be honest. "Just tell them we need more time," Tom pleaded. "They'll understand. Push the timeline to—" "Absolutely not. We're demoing Nova tomorrow. Make it work." We stayed up all night, duct taping code together, praying to every god we didn't believe in. The next morning, Daniel walked in wearing a $4,000 suit, grinning like he'd already won. The demo began. For exactly 8 minutes, it worked. The device powered on, data populated the screen, investors leaned forward, intrigued. Then, it crashed. Blue screen of death. Daniel laughed it off. "Just a minor bug. We'll have it fixed by launch." But one of the investors, a shark woman named Margaret, wasn't buying it. "Daniel, what's your go-to-market strategy?" He froze. "Well, we're going to disrupt the industry." How? By being better? Better how? What's your competitive advantage? Silence. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. Then he said the worst possible thing. You know what? If you don't see the vision, maybe you're not the right partners for us. Margaret stood up, closed her laptop, and walked out. The other investors followed. We lost $50 million in 6 minutes. Daniel blamed us for sabotaging the demo.
Month 5. Paychecks were late. Just a processing delay, HR said. But we knew better. Whispers spread through the office like wildfire. Did you hear? We lost the Brennan contract. Marketing budget was cut to 0. They're selling the company cars. Then someone from finance leaked the truth. Daniel had created a consulting firm called Nova Strategic Solutions, run by his friends, and Kingswell Industries had been paying them $200,000 per month for strategic advisory services. What services? None. They literally did nothing. It was a funnel, company money flowing straight into Daniel's circle. When the board found out, they called an emergency meeting. Daniel didn't show up. Instead, he sent a voice note. Hey guys, can't make it today, dealing with some personal stuff, just handle whatever, peace. Personal stuff? He was in Tulum, posting Instagram stories at a beach club with bottle service, while we were wondering if we'd make rent. Month 6. Friday afternoon, 3:47 p.m. An email hit every inbox simultaneously. Subject: Important company announcement. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Effective immediately, Kingswell Industries is entering liquidation proceedings. All operations will cease. Employees will receive further instructions from our legal team. That was it. No explanation, no apology, no thank you for your years of service. The office erupted. People were crying, shouting. One guy punched a wall so hard he broke his hand. 9 years of my life, gone. Sarah, the woman who'd called me about Mr. Kingswell's death, was hyperventilating into a paper bag. Tom just sat at his desk staring at nothing. We'd all seen it coming, but denial is powerful. At 4:15 p.m., Daniel walked out of the building. Sunglasses on, wireless headphones in, smiling. Someone yelled, "How can you smile right now?" He pulled out one earbud. "Dude, sometimes businesses fail. It's just how it goes. Gotta move forward, you know." Then he got into his Tesla and drove away. That night, I sat in my car in the empty parking lot. I couldn't go home yet. Couldn't face my wife. Couldn't explain how I let this happen. A few others were still there too. Tom, Sarah, a few others from the old guard. We just sat, in silence, mourning. Not just for our jobs, but for what Mr. Kingswell had built. A company that meant something, that cared about people, that stood for integrity and craftsmanship and doing things right. And his son had burned it all down in less than 6 months. I later found out Daniel walked away with millions. The inheritance, the liquidation assets, everything. The rest of us, we got 2 weeks of severance and a thank you for your service email. Here's what I learned. A company doesn't die from bad luck. It doesn't die from market crashes or competition. It dies when the wrong person takes the wheel. When ego replaces empathy. When entitlement replaces effort. When someone mistakes a title for actual leadership. Daniel had everything handed to him on a silver platter. A thriving business, a loyal team, a legacy worth protecting. And he destroyed it all. Not because he was evil, but because he never had to earn anything. He never had to struggle, never had to prove himself, never had to look someone in the eye and say, "I've got you." He inherited success, but he never learned what it cost. And that's the difference between a leader and someone who just happens to be in charge. Most of us moved on, found new jobs, rebuilt our lives, but we never forgot. Not the company, not Mr. Kingswell, and definitely not the lesson. Success can take decades to build, and only one fool to destroy. If you inherited something valuable today, would you protect it? Or would you be the next Daniel? Think about it.